The Last of Us, episode 8.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, we don't want to give any spoilers. It's a heavy one.
No, we can spoil this. I'll put up the alert. It came out a week ago.
I know.
We're getting the last episode in 2 days.
It's a heavy one.
Spoiler alert.
It's a heavy episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that creepy guy in it. He was in was that called the New Pope, or he was in that as well. It
has the guy. He's a
religious person, and
so since we're spoiling this, Ellie and Joel, they're still out in the middle of nowhere. Joel was injured
very badly. He's been stabbed in the stomach,
and Ellie was caring for
infected, and they're out in the snow in the woods, and they basically hide in a house in a suburb that's abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
And last episode, he was telling her to run and leave him and go back to his brother.
It was all flashbacks to her and her
far
friend.
For her to go back to where his brother is. It's been a far journey, and by herself. She does have the horse, but still, that would be a lot, because even the two of them got into trouble, and that's how he got stabbed. But
this episode, she goes out hunting.
Yeah, so she's there. She's trying to look after him. She goes out hunting. She's good at shooting, and
so she meets the whole point is she meets these crazy people from this isolated
crazy they are.
religious community.
Well, it's not necessarily a religious community. It's a community dominated by a man who is using the word of God for his own methods.
Yeah, it's a cult.
Well, the people have no other place to go.
And these people want to survive, so...
They have no other place to go.
He's in charge, and he's some religious nutcase.
He's basically... I don't think he's religious at all. We get that in the episode. He's just using that to for his own purposes. And he's got these vulnerable people that don't have anywhere else to go. And he is like the rule of law in this place, which is really terrifying when you see that. And he's a very terrifying character.
Yeah. Well, Ellie gets involved with them. She is able to get medicine from them, antibiotics for Joel to help him out.
Thank goodness.
The problem is they come hunting for both of them. And really she gets taken.
Yeah, and he wants to take her as his wife or something.
And we learned that they've had to resort to cannibalism to survive.
Yeah.
So
that's probably why they stabbed them in the first place, because they were probably trying to get them to bring them back for food. Because it didn't. Yeah. Anyway.
Maybe. Well, they were out hunting, and then.
Well,
she was the one who got the deer.
It's a lot. And she gets traumatized, and finally we see her getting traumatized.
But Joel has to come after her and rescue her, and man, there's some powerful stuff in this episode.
Burns down the whole place.
Ooh, yeah.
So much for that. Was it Jasper? It looks like it was filmed in Jasper.
And a lot of guys got shot.
Yeah,
she
does in the community. Anyway, it's a lot.
So that episode was called When We Are in Need.
Yeah.
Episode 8.
Which was really bad, because it does show like how people can use something like religion for their own ends. Basically, they're showing us in the different episodes how bad people can be. Essentially, in a lot of these things we're seeing. Yep. We've seen that a few times now. Which ways, when there's no rule of law or even rule of the church, how people can take things in their own hands and the ways that they can manipulate it.
This show seems to be all about the different ways that people are surviving. Some people are in the quarantine zones.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you had...
Which seems bad, but not now that we've seen these other places. They're not that bad at all compared to these other places that we've seen people trying to live in. It's, we've seen a person who lives in underground and shuns society, how he's living.
Yeah, we saw Bill and Frank.
Well,
how they survived.
He's like a conspiracy theorist. We've seen what he had done. We've seen people who are trying to rebel against the military. We've seen the military in action.
And there's these freedom fighters, the
Yeah. Fireflies.
Fireflies.
Well, they think that they can put a better system in place, but I think the problem is it's too soon. There's too many variables, and this disease, there's no cure for it, and we've seen, as they say like that when this QZ fell, we see the history. A lot of these QZs, quarantine zones, have fell just because of the same reason. These people rebelling against the military rule or Fedra, and the whole place goes to heck, and it's gone. So I don't know why these fireflies aren't getting it in their head that they need a different plan of approach, because many of the QZs have fell at this point.
I think that's social commentary really on world today, but they keep rebelling against the martial law, right?
Yeah.
And because they don't want to do that, they just want freedom, and they end up just getting everyone killed.
Yeah, because it's too soon. You kind of do need that law at this time, as we've seen, because without it, you get things like we've seen in this past episode, which is horrendous.
The show is called The Last of Us, meaning the last of the human race.
I know.
Okay, so if everything falls and then everyone's killed, even if they did have a cure for this, right? So if to make everyone immune, okay, they could still kill you. They could still maul you, right? Yeah. But they just can't make new ones out of clicker zombies out of people, right? If you're immune, but they could still beat you to death, right?
Yeah, I suppose
so. You'd still have to beat them militarily. So even if suddenly they came up with a cure, if they just stumble upon it, right? You're not out of the woods.
Right.
You still gotta fight them.
Like, we have, not only do we have most of the world's population has died off, that's happened in other scenarios, but in this, they have died off, but now we still have the threat constantly, every day, still there. So until that threat is, you can't really survive, or you can't really grow or thrive until that threat's over.
You still enjoying this series?
Oh, I do. Got my heart in my mouth when I'm watching it. Oh my god.
You wouldn't want to live in this world?
No, it's not the zombies, and it's somebody else. Anyway, no.
Even in the quarantine zone at the first episode, seemed pretty rough for them too. He's having to take jobs where he's like cleaning out like
dead bodies.
Yeah, they're throwing out dead bodies, and then the next one, the next job he was going to get was like cleaning out the sewage pipes.
Yeah, I fell in a sewer system at work before. I can handle it.
That's a rough life there.
My boot got stuck. My boot was in the sewer. My foot was out. What do I do? Put it back in? I can deal with that. But I don't want zombies coming out to me.
So you're okay with some sewage as long as there's no clicker fungus zombies.
Yeah, well, I can't run very fast.
Okay. I'm still really enjoying this show. This was such a powerful episode. Each episode has been so good, and it's almost like they keep topping themselves each time.
Oh yeah,
this was amazing, and then suddenly they're able to top themselves.
This one was a lot.
We're gonna have to.
Ellie's needs some big therapy after this.
After it's done, we might have to watch all 9 episodes within 3 or 4 days just to.
We did just go back and watch the first one again this week.
Pick up a lot
more.
There's
so much going on. Yeah, and I really enjoy doing that too. Yeah.
Actually, I think I might start rewatching some series that from past couple of years. Not necessarily HBO stuff, but just to review it. Just to refresh myself on it, and then I might do a quick review here because it's old, and then we can spoil it. But anyway, that was our spoiler-free review for The Last of Us. Our spoiler review for The Last of Us episode 8.
Watch it with the lights on.
Stay up and watch it late at night. Like I do. I'm gonna look forward to when this is over.
Oh my god!
And I don't have to stay up till midnight to watch this and post a reaction video.
I would be up till 4 a.m. because I wouldn't be able to sleep.
I'm usually pretty tired by then. I just pass out. Is anyone else watching The Last of Us on HBO? If you're not, what are you doing with your life? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Watch The Last of Us. This last episode, it's called Look for the Light, and it's coming out on this Sunday in 2 days. Let us know what you think about this series, whether you like it or not, down in the comments below. We want to hear from you.